How do we work them?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Joey! Hi, I'm LaRue, and well, I feel like a deer in the headlights of...
Pocket Universe fight scene. That was the scene where I was telling you where it started to really drag for me.
Why is there a pixel river there? Voxel pixel river that just is too much like Minecraft?
And yeah, I'm also a guy with a podcast who has some grievances, but mine are a little more specific. So I'm gonna explain them in this video.
The devil's tapping on shoulders. He's trying to get to know you. The right time to fold you.
The superhero and the cinematic set piece are pretty much made for each other. I mean, come on, a larger-than-life character and a pivotal, visually striking story moment to showcase their great feats?
That was so cool when you threw that car.
Not as cool as you running on water.
But I don't always feel that chemistry in the new Superman. So, okay, I have a problem with this scene, and I think we can start to understand that problem once we answer the question of what makes for a good set piece in a superhero movie. Is it the thrill or the escalation? Maybe it's the effects. Maybe it's the choreography or the cinematography. Yes, all the previous things that I said, but for me, it really comes down to stakes. I'm talking about what is at risk. What are the obstacles, you know? How does our character navigate them? And in the end, how does our character grow from that experience? What you're watching is a scene from The Incredibles, in which our speedster hero Dash races to escape Syndrome's evil henchman when he discovers this. He can run on water. But that's not all. Here's director Brad Bird on the scene.
The person who storyboarded it just had him run on water. And I said, no. When he runs on water, he thinks he's gonna fail. And then he finds that he can run on water and he's exhilarated by it, you know? And so it wasn't just the action. The action wasn't enough. It's how does the character feel about the action? And then action becomes character, which becomes more interesting.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, let's just keep this in mind moving forward. First, why don't we summarize what's actually going on in the anti-roton river sequence? So about an hour into the new Superman movie, Superman, after escaping his cell in Luthor's pocket dimension with his new friends, gets ambushed and crashes into a quote-unquote anti-roton river that's running right into a black hole. It's kind of a fun scene, kind of silly. But this, in my opinion, isn't just fun and silly. I mean, it is, but it's also...
Ugly.
You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm gonna kill you, give me 20!
And not because the VFX work is bad, let's put it this way. The big difference between good and great VFX is a clear and cohesive creative direction. My first problem is how difficult to follow the sequences. I mean, there is way too much visual information on screen. Because if we can't entirely see what's going on, which, fine, let's be very charitable and chalk it up to the sequence intending to be chaotic. But if we can't see all that much, it certainly won't help us to answer the question of, what the f is an anti-roton river? I don't know what this gas river is or how it specifically affects Superman. And that's the thing, I'm open to understanding all of this. You know, I like a little science fiction slop. Yummy. But the audience needs something to chew on. Otherwise, we're left with a lot to assume. And that's the issue, right? Like when we start to assume things, we're leaving opportunities on the table. Opportunities to show character, to show story. Because what Brad Bird's direction so concisely explains to us from that clip is that action reveals character. And this scene kind of starts on the wrong foot by throwing our characters into an environment where it's difficult to understand what actions are even available to them. Like, what can they even do? Some might say that the stakes in this scene are obvious. Oh no, we're trapped in this river and we're about to be sucked into a black hole. But the film doesn't really establish any rules or guardrails for what's going on, and so its solutions feel unsatisfying. Because confusing rules undermine clear stakes. The solutions start to feel arbitrary. And what is the solution, you might ask? Well, I'll answer. Superman blows himself with his super freeze breath and saves everyone to be clear, my problem is not like,
Actually, the physics of the sequence make no sense. The gravitational pull of a black hole at this distance would.
no, okay? Listen, I don't care about that. Though, again, we're severely lacking any understanding of the rules or what's possible here. It's a shame because, despite all the wonderful detail that David Cornsweet brings to this character, my contention is that I still kind of don't care at all. My contention is like whether any of this is interesting, whether any of this moves the story or characters forward. I would like my superhero fare to generally rise beyond the level of power fantasy slop, and they don't always have to. Power fantasies can rip, but we should be clear that power fantasies are really it's just gooning. Like, you're gooning. It's like when the CW's favorite twink discovers he can run suddenly slightly faster, just fast enough to defeat this week's big bad. You have to go faster, Barry, but I can't. I believe in you, Barry, you can do it. Why is it that Superman can just blow hard enough to escape in this moment? Well, because the movie said so. It decided that right in this moment. No setup, no discovery, no emotion. To track all of this, I went ahead and made up a diagram that is very real and accurate and works 100% of the time. I posit that for a superhero set piece to truly work, the character's powers have to align with the action of this scene or the action being taken, and then both lend themselves to the emotion of the scene. In the center of this triangle is character, because the power that enables our hero or villain to make a choice, and ultimately how they feel about that choice, that's what teaches us about the character we're watching and why we should care. Like, when this loop breaks, it can start to feel like the character's powers or choices are just incidental, as opposed to a relevant reflection of their personality. Otherwise, it feels as though the set piece loses its thematic resonance. And I don't think this scene is completely lacking thematic resonance either. The ideas of Superman's fallibility and humanity are there. Even how his sincerity and trusting nature are naive, but necessary. All of that kicks off this sequence when he gets Metamorpho to trust that he's a good dude. He's a Superman that goes out of his way to save the little guy. And yeah, it's incredibly refreshing after a decade of far bleaker and more cynical superhero fare. But let's be honest, that doesn't mean the set piece actually shores up those themes through the actual action of the scene. I would argue that this triangle loop or engine, if you will, is present somewhere on some level in any truly great superhero set piece or climax. Because the things that get us to pay attention are also the things that get us to care. And that's like the big reason we watch movies, right? Especially superhero movies. We care about the people we think we see on screen. We care about people and their stories, not just hype moments and aura farming. Hopefully you see my point. Okay, thanks for watching.